Hey Ellie, happy summer.
Happy summer. How's it going?
It's so good. I'm out in around Lake Tahoe visiting family and I finished my book and it's been kind of like a very restorative time I don't know, I just love summer. I love the vibe. I love the easy. Just feels like nothing is nearly as stressful as other times of the year.
Oh my gosh, your voice is like giving me calm vibes. I feel like I'm not at all in that space and I'm really here for it. It's very nice to be like, "Oh, restorative calmness." Yes. That
Yeah.
kind of summer.
Yeah.
That's good.
Probably helps when it's just like two grown men and a dog. I think that summer must be like more stressful when you have like young kids that are usually at school.
I mean, they're in camp, which is great. I feel like, but yeah, we're also not in New York. We're in London for a few weeks and for Tom's job and it's been wonderful, but it was more of a transition than I think I thought it was going to be. So now I feel like we're like really hitting our groove. I'm expecting the sort of calmness to start like ASAP.
Oh, good. I was thinking about you just the other day because there's a really good farmers market down here. But I stopped. There's a coffee shop on the way, and I was like leaving early in the morning because I wanted to get there first thing. And I stopped to get a cup of coffee, and I had to wait in a little bit of a line. And the person in front of me was just like so slow, and they're like thinking about the pastry, and just like. And then the barista was like, "So what are your plans today?" I'm like, "Guys, there is a lot." And so like when it came my turn, I was like, large coffee, room for milk, and a blueberry scone. Thanks so much. And it was like that was the order. And she looked at me like I was such an asshole. And really my mindset was like, there's people in this line. We want to get our coffees.
Right?
We got to
Of
go to the
course.
farmer's market, get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I realized that,
Consideration. You're considerate. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I realized like, oh, actually, I'm the asshole here.
Right.
This is like the local custom. We all chat, we catch up. What's the rush?
Right.
And I had to like try to turn off my little New York
Yeah.
get shit done,
Efficiency.
whatever it is. Yeah. Are you noticing anything like that while you're in London?
I definitely feel like, yes, even though it's like a big city, I feel like there's very much the New York energy of like, I'd like this and I'd like that. And like that, I feel like I have to, like, I've had to really, I don't feel like I'm necessarily like a loud talker or a
Uh,
shouter, but I feel like I'm like, I need to take the pace down. I need to take the volume down. I need to just
really?
like be a lot more chill. Yeah. There's something
No.
very, the like loud American thing I feel very conscious of. Maybe it's also because of my children, but I'm
Okay.
like, they are very loud and I feel like I don't know, I feel like I'm like, let's try to sort of blend in a little bit more, which is really not working very well, but yeah, there's been a little bit of that certainly.
That's so funny. And that's also why travel is so good. It just like forces you out of yourself a little bit where you're like, you can kind of like see, oh, this is how, I don't know, you just get this new perspective on what your sort of default behaviors are.
Oh my gosh, for sure. It's been really interesting actually to see the kids in a different circumstance because I feel like adults, I feel like, are sort of generally a little bit more conscious of their surroundings and, like, adapt a little quicker. The kids, I feel like, they've adapted quickly, but I think they keep saying, like, their teachers at camp are, like, really mean or not
Oh,
really mean, but they're really strict, and
okay.
I'm like, I could see how, I think the expectations just of like, kids are really, really different here. Like all the kids that we've met here have been like so incredibly well behaved, so quiet, so like, so disciplined, so like all this stuff. And I feel like we come in, we're just sort of like this whirling ball of like energy and intensity. So I don't know. Very feel very American, like, very American, just sort of coming in, like, we're, like, sort of dirtier than everyone else, our clothes are sort of more worn out, we, like, haven't brushed our hair as recently, like, it feels very much like, not as pop.
I do notice that even when we visit Vincent's family in Australia. Like the kids are just a little bit more buttoned up than
Yes.
the kids in, and maybe it's a Commonwealth thing.
Maybe it is. I'm like, well, we're also like, I mean, we're sort of obsessed with Roald Dahl anyway, but we're like really obsessed with Roald Dahl here because it's sort of the thing. And it is funny to read about all these, like, he's obviously sort of obsessed with like bad teachers and angry adults who hate children. But I'm like, so maybe that's also, maybe I'm getting a little overly influenced by that. But I'm like, yikes, we're really like, everyone feels a little cooler here than they do in the States.
Yeah.
Very nice, very accommodating, but like not warm exactly.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah.
healthy perspective.
Healthy perspective. And like I mean, I love London so much. I'm just like the food here is amazing. Whether it's like the ingredients or the restaurants or any of that. Like we've just like I feel like we've eaten so well. It's probably like the number one that and like the art and architecture. I'm like a pig in mud or whatever the expression is.
What are the what I mean, you don't hear often that like London food is, well, I guess you do more recently, but what's been your favorite stuff that you've
I
eaten?
mean, like, I guess I feel like when you come here, like restaurant wise, like any Mediterranean, Middle Eastern food is just like so delicious and rock solid. Lebanese,
Yeah.
Turkish, anything in that realm is amazing. Um, there's a huge, it seems like the Vietnamese food here is just like leaps and bounds 1,000 times better than New York City. That's sort of a hot take, but there's plenty of yummy Vietnamese food in New York City. But here, it just feels like, first of all, there's just so much more of it. It's everywhere, and it's so good. I feel like in New York, it can feel like you can get like the bun, the room temperature noodles, or you can get pho, or you can get banh mi. But it's like here, I feel like there's just entire categories of a menu that like are harder to find. Especially in like a more like I feel like maybe you can go to like a really fancy Vietnamese restaurant in the States, or you can go to kind of a banh mi or pho place. But here it seems like there's like this middle category that's like sit down, but still kind of family friendly, not too expensive, but like a huge menu with tons of different stuff. So that's like been such a treat to have all this Vietnamese food. What are the restaurants like in Tahoe?
Oh, the restaurants here are actually pretty bad. It's
Yeah.
very like we always joke that you go to a restaurant as one of those menus that are 20 pages long, and you can get everything from pad thai to like shepherd's pie to
Right.
hamburgers and pizza and pasta. I don't know.
Right.
It's just like nothing. There's kind of everything, but also nothing.
No specialties. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that we whenever we go out to eat, which is not very often, it's just kind of like pub food. You just go for
Yeah.
like burgers and
Convenience.
fries and that kind of thing. And but with all this great produce, it's been so, I just love the summer because cooking is so easy. You're like, throw
Easy.
something on the grill and then have a big salad and that's it. And it's,
Yeah.
I can do it every single night, every single meal, and it's so good. And these
Oh,
tomatoes and the melons, and I'm gonna make some I'm gonna do some like chili ferment, like do some pickled salt grind like Fresno chilies because
yum.
those are only in New York for a very short window of time. And like I
Yes.
just saw them last week and I was like, I'm gonna buy a pound of these and just do this now.
Oh,
Uh
yeah.
enjoy it later.
Oh my gosh. It's so fun to have access to that kind of stuff. I feel like similarly here, like there's definitely been some ingredients that are you can find in New York, but they're considered sort of specialty ingredient. Like I feel like halloumi, for example, it's like so
Mhm.
hard to find like reasonably priced halloumi in New York City. Whereas
Yes.
here it's just like in every grocery store, it's cheap and you can just have it all the time. So I've just been like
Yeah.
eating halloumi all the time. For some, I'm
Oh,
just like living it up with halloumi,
yeah.
for example.
So
Um,
good.
yeah, it's really, really fun. And I find
Oh,
food here to be kind of inexpensive relatively to New York. Maybe it's just like not being in New York, um, but I've found like you can get pretty nice stuff for just not nearly as much money. So that's been really fun.
what's the big supermarket there, Waitrose.
Oh, I love
It's,
Waitrose.
it's so good.
I love Waitrose. I love the neighborhood that we're in, we've stayed in before, and there's a Waitrose in the neighborhood, and as we were, like, trying to find a place to stay, we were like, "Oh, we could stay in this neighborhood," and in the back of my mind, I literally was like, "And there's a Waitrose there." So, we, like, booked this place, everything was great. Then, um, before we got here, I was, like, on a Google map, like, looking something up, and I was like, "Oh, there's the Waitrose on the map," and then I saw that it was temporarily closed, and
Oh
I was
no.
like, "No!" Luckily, it opened soon after we got here, so I've been, like I go to Waitrose, like, practically every day. I'm just like, it's fantastic, I love it. The
Yeah.
produce is, like is sort of whatever, but, like, the cheese, like, special chutneys, and, like, I had to really restrain myself to not, like, buy the most extensive pantry. I was like, "We are not here long enough for me to be, like, stocking up on pantry items," but it's really hard not to when they're so fun.
So fun, and I also feel like the packaging is really inviting for some reason. Like,
Mhm.
it's like a more the sizes are more reasonable. There's
Yes.
something the more streamlined about and,
Yes.
like, user-friendly about how everything is
Yes.
packaged.
Yes. I totally agree. Yeah, some of the package yeah, the sizes are a little bit smaller, which is great. I'm like, "Oh, like, sure, I'll buy, like, a little jar of miso for, like, a pound 50." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I'll do that, like, in a
All I
second."
need. Yeah.
That's all I need, and, like and it's sort of no commitment, so, yeah, that's been so fun.
I feel like Commonwealth snacks are kind of underrated. Like, Australia
Totally.
has the best hairstyle, the crackers, God, they're so good, and the
Yes.
flavors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's, like they have, like, really great trashy snacks, then
Mhm.
they also have, like, really great healthy snacks, like, they have, like, the most delicious crisp breads that are made of all these, like, yummy seeds, and again, it's like it's not it doesn't cost, like, $10 as it would in the States, whereas, like, here, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy these incredibly fancy crackers and then actually eat them instead of, like, being like
Yeah.
they're too expensive for me to eat." I'll just
Yes. Oh, we're hoarding them. Yeah.
I'm not hoarding. I'm not hoarding here. It's like I can't hoard, so it's been a certain amount of freedom.
The snack mixes, do you see those, like, sort of chaat style, like,
No.
Indian types of, like, snack mixes with, like there's one I don't know if there's common in the UK, but I assume it's a thing that came via
Mhm.
England,
Mhm.
Australia, and they have this it's called a Booja mix, and
Ooh,
the main thing are these, like, soy crisp cracker thing they're like little they look like little, like, mini like, cereal-sized churros, but they're, like, really savory and salty and crunchy and really good. Go out the snack mixes.
yeah, yeah. 'Cause we've bought, like, a thing of crisps or a couple things of crisps, but I haven't, like, really I haven't explored that aisle, especially by myself, so that will be my next treat tomorrow when I go back tomorrow.
Oh, fun. I'm so glad this is, that you're having a good time, and we're gonna re-release here one of our, earlier episodes from the archives.
Yeah, then we'll record some new episodes in September, but for now, we were gonna check in anyway, and then we're like, "Oh, we'll record it. Why not?"
Yeah, and we're somehow at, like, halfway through the summer, which I'm trying not to think about,
Oh,
but
I know.
it probably won't be until September when we do go back on the air.
Yeah, I think that's right. So a little reminder that, Salt Pig exists for any super fans out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're making for dinner tonight? It's very early there, so you may not have really wrapped your mind around it.
Well, we're going to see the Odyssey tonight. We're going down to
Oh,
Carson, so we've been excited to see that
fun.
movie, and I just heard about this, it's called Centro Market, a big, like, Mexican grocery store
Yeah.
that has a big hot bar, sort of like I
Ooh.
mean, somebody was telling me that they did a party and they had it catered with all this food from this grocery store. So we're gonna go check that out and probably get stuff for dinner from there.
That sounds so fun. Sort of like the
Yeah.
takeout equivalent there. The thing I keep making here, which has been fun, like some other ingredients that I feel like are like more affordable and more prevalent here, like produce wise, like leeks, for example. I've been cooking
Mm.
leeks, which has been really fun. So I've been making this like pasta sauce. I've been making it like once a week just because it's really easy and I feel like everybody likes it. But like cooking down like leeks, um, zucchini slash courgette. It's been fun with all the
Yep.
vegetable
Yep.
changes. And like tomatoes and just like with the lid on, just like cooking it down to absolute mush and
Oh,
then mixing it with like pasta and Parmesan. Super simple, but it's been such a treat to just like go and just get whatever looks really delicious and then just like cook it all down and eat with pasta. So that's what we're
oh, that
doing.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
actually just thinking of you yesterday because I'm trying to get a new recipe out in my newsletter. And it's kind of a riff on your marinated beans,
Oh,
but
yeah.
with grilled eggplant in it. So you
Ooh.
grill the eggplant and then you sort of like quick pickle some garlic and chilies and onion or shallots and then throw the eggplant in there and a bunch of olive oil. And it's kind of like, it's a little, I feel like eggplant is hard to maintain like any kind of like loose consistency. It sort of like thickens up. And maybe it's the starch in the beans too, but
Yeah.
it's maybe a marriage between like marinated beans and caponata type of
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds
ravioli
great.
thing.
That sounds great. I just made some caponata actually this week, because it was like there were all these amazing eggplants and stuff, and I was like, "Got to do something." So much prefer caponata to like ratatouille. I don't know where you fall on that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because you need the sweetness and the acid.
totally.
You
And I'm
be
like,
like,
I want to throw some golden raisins and some olives in there and stuff, or capers.
yeah,
Ooh, that sounds good. I'm gonna look for that in your newsletter.
okay.
Well, we'll just catch up soon, but it was so nice to see your face.
Yes, you too. And I'm so glad you're having such a good summer and
Thanks. You
eating
too.
so well.
Yeah, likewise. All right. Well, enjoy those farmers markets and let's just talk soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
I have a horrific story to tell you.
Okay, I'm excited for this.
Okay, so everyone in my house has been sort of sick for the last like couple weeks, and I was asking the kids and Tom like what might make them feel better, like what I could cook to make them feel better. And Henry was like, "Oh, can you make me this soup that I've made him before? That's like a sausage bean soup." And I was like, "Great, no problem. Make some beans, get some bean broth, that whole thing that I always make, like chorizo and kale and beans and bean broth. It's like pretty straightforward."
Okay, yum.
Um, but Tom was like, "Oh, like what sounds good to me?" Separate conversation. Tom was like, "Oh, some chicken broth sounds really good to me," and I was like, "Great, like
Just like a
fine."
cup of chicken broth?
Well, like a chicken broth soup of some
Oh, okay,
sort.
sort of like
But
a chicken soup. All right.
I was like, "Oh, okay, so I'll make some chicken broth." And I was like, so I went to the grocery store and I was like, "I'm gonna actually really throw myself into this instead of just like, the old carcass and some water and calling it a day.
Yeah,
I'm gonna like." There was these chicken thighs on sale, and I was like, "Great!" Like this family pack of chicken thighs. It's probably like 10 chicken thighs. I was like, I'm going to really make an effort here and make like some very special chicken broth. So I brought them home. I put them in a pot. I put water. Then, as I was making Henry's bean and sausage soup and like cutting up celery and carrots and onions and stuff, I was like, oh, I'll put in like the bottom of the celery and I'll put in some carrots and I'll cut up an onion. And I was like, then I had also bought all these other ingredients. I was like, the kale stems from the kale that I was putting into Henry's soup, I'll put those in my chicken broth. And this cabbage core, I can cut that out and throw it in my chicken broth. And like, so I was like, this is going to be some really rockin' broth. So I cooked, and meanwhile, I'm like majorly multitasking because I'm making the soup number one, then I'm making the broth. I'm like talking on
literally
the
two
phone.
pots on the
I
stove.
have two pots on the stove. I was like, no problem. Like, I can handle this. So I make the sausage soup. Everything's great. And then I have like leftover, like chopped up onions, carrots, and celery to add to my eventual chicken soup that I'm making for
Mhm.
Tom. And at that point, my chicken broth had been simmering for like an hour or maybe even less. So the chicken was done. So I was like, I'm going to pull all the chicken thighs out, pick all the chicken meat off of them, put the bones back in, like keep cooking it. I was like doing all the tricks. So I did that. Then it cooked for like another hour. And then I was doing this sort of final big stir. It was in like my enormous Le Creuset. And there had been so much stuff in it. And I had been so distracted. I hadn't really given it like a really big stir,
Oh no.
I guess, this whole time. And then this very troubling piece of like yellow, what looks like paper sort of floats to the top. And I was like, what the heck is that? And at first I thought it was like a piece of chicken skin. It was not a piece of chicken skin. I eventually realized it was one of those disgusting absorbent pads
Oh
from
no.
underneath the chicken.
Oh God.
And it had just been like simmering away for hours with all this stuff. And it took me like a solid 5 minutes, like just by myself, to be like, this chicken broth is done. Like, there's no way anyone can eat this chicken broth and the chicken. But I was
Oh,
like,
really?
I mean, then I did this quick Google search. I was like, maybe that absorbent pad is like made out of like cornstarch or something. Like maybe
Mm.
because people do that all the time. Maybe it won't be a problem. It's not made of cornstarch. It turns out, according to the internet, there's not a lot of information on the internet about what those are made of, but it's not
It's like a
food.
bandage.
It's like a diaper. I mean, it's like the worst possible. So I was like, I guess this huge pot. It was probably like I don't know. It was a lot of chicken broth, and it was so many chicken thighs, and so I just dumped it all, and it was like so sad.
That's horrible.
I know. Talk about food waste. I was
Did
like
you even try
devastated.
taste?
I didn't actually. I
Then
mean,
freak
it's
out.
funny because
Yeah.
I was so distracted. I was just like, really kind of grossed me out. I mean, and it's my own fault for just like, I like sliding the whole chicken in the pot without like,
Yeah.
using like just handling them. I just sort of thought I could just like,
Yeah, we don't want to
throw them all in.
Oh God, that's so. I mean, have you ever done the thing where you're like straining the broth and then you end up pouring it all down the sink?
You're like,
I've done that.
Gold. Have you really?
Yeah, you take your mesh strainer and set it in the sink, and then you're like, okay, let's strain the broth.
Let's dump it all. Let's pour it all down the drain. All that work.
That's
terrible.
It's just like the most demoralizing thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed though. I like that trick you mentioned in there about when you use like raw chicken rather than carcasses and then just cooking it till the chicken's done and then throwing the bones back in there. That's such a great tip because it does change the flavor of the broth too.
It does change the flavor of the broth. And sometimes like, I mean, when you poach chicken, it will like make some broth certainly, but it's like, it could use still a little fortifying. Like
and just the time.
If it's only like 40 minutes of chicken thighs in there, it's like, you could use some more time.
Totally. Yeah. And then especially to like extract it all from the like bones and stuff.
Totally. Yeah. I was actually going to ask you, do you ever put like, I just put a little vinegar in there, like a little white vinegar in, because I've heard that it like extracts something from the bones. But I realized as I was putting a little vinegar in there, I was like, I don't really know if that's true.
I had never heard that before.
Oh.
I've always like seasoned the broth with vinegar if I like sip on it on its own, but never as like having a purpose beyond flavor.
Right. Interesting.
Well, that's kind of a good. Oh God, I'm sorry. That's so. Especially it's like when it's not like the garbage type of broth that we typically make, where you just like empty out the freezer of all the vegetable scraps that you've been saving. When you go out and buy all the stuff and use,
I know.
Oh God.
And I was like, I was really proud of myself because I was like, like this cabbage, I'm not even going to use the cabbage now, but I'm going to throw the core. I'm going to like cut the core out and like put it in there. It was so dumb. So dumb. So anyway.
That's sad.
Chicken broth.
I'm sorry about that. So we put our first episode out and then we never actually explained why we're doing a podcast.
Or who we are.
Or who we are or anything. We just kind of like dove straight into it. So I was thinking that maybe we spend like a minute just discussing sort of the genesis of this thing.
Let's do it. I mean, basically, I think the genesis is like we were at the Brooklyn Inn and we were like having some martinis and sort of being like, ha ha ha, home cooking. Isn't it fun to chit chat about like,
And we're
dried
so good at
mushrooms or
this. We
whatever.
have so many opinions and,
Yeah.
increasingly fired up as the martini glasses accumulated.
Totally. Totally. And we were like, maybe we should do a podcast. And then we had a bunch of other ideas that we like sort of pursued. And then we're like, let's come back to that podcast.
Yeah. And I love that. Well, and I also feel like we had, I mean, because we both work on cookbooks, we met working on a cookbook,
Yes.
and we both spent all day sort of immersed in the world of home cooking as it exists in cookbooks. And then one of the things we always talk about is like what we actually cook when we
Yeah.
aren't working. And so it would be kind of fun to explore that in a
Yes.
podcast format and just continue these fun conversations that we have over drinks, but do it for everybody to listen into.
Totally. Totally. And we should mention like the briefest of intros, like you are the author of how many books?
Seven
Seven.
cookbooks.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
No,
It's a lot
thank
of
you.
cookbooks.
I know it actually surprises me sometimes because it just feels like you publish them and then I don't know, I'm just like moving on to the next thing. So I sometimes
Right.
even forget that they exist.
Right. Well, what I find so impressive about that is like you're not those are not even counting necessarily like your collaborations and that kind of thing. Like those are just books like you pitched them, you created them, you're the author of them, and they're out there in the world. They're 100% yours. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I know. I can't believe that. And then,
Yeah.
so you're a very established, well-respected,
Thank you.
would you call yourself like a cookbook doula? Like
Some people, yeah, that's a term that people use, or it's just like a collaborator, I guess. Although
collaborator?
lately I've been like, maybe this is like dinner party conversation. I feel like people ask me what I do, and then I go on this very awkward, like 2-minute description that's not very concise. But I guess I'm just a writer. And then I happen to have sort of honed in on cookbooks specifically. So I help people usually write their first cookbooks, but then I've also done like more memoir projects or more lifestyle projects, but helping people. So I'm more on like the writing side, which is great.
Yeah.
And then you do writing and you also do recipe development. So you have like a whole other skill set where you're like creating recipes from the ground up and using them for your own books or for other people's books. And that's how we met on a project a few years ago. And that's our story.
And now we have Salt Pig.
Yeah, now we have Salt Pig. And the topic today is dishwashers.
Yes, a favorite topic.
Yes, a favorite topic and a very important thing in the home kitchen. I've found, having not always had a dishwasher in my life, I'm really grateful for my dishwasher. And my dishwasher just finally stopped working. It had had some sort of, I know, it had had some, we inherited it when we moved in and it seemed pretty old, but it seemed fine. And it wasn't anything special. And then it started, the door like goes all the way to the floor. Have you ever had a dishwasher?
Like the hinge. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, so we have to like prop it up with this salt, like a canister of salt, which makes everyone crazy. And it's because the kids like jumped on it. Anyway, Tom kept being like, once that happened, Tom was like, can we just get a new dishwasher? And I was like, it's just the door and it works fine. And then it's now started to, the last time I tried to run it, it like didn't, the little pod of dishwasher stuff like didn't dissolve or something for some reason, and it just was sitting in the bottom of the dishwasher and it looked like it had been set on fire.
Oh, wow.
I know. So sometimes with like machines, I tend to be like, oh, I'll just like wait a couple days and then try again, which I tried with this, and sometimes it sort of came back. But then once I had the sort of smoky dishwasher pod, I was like, maybe time has come to
time for it. Well, this presents an opportunity. I'm sure dishwashers have come a long ways since whenever that one was made.
They really seem to have come a very long way. I mean, I think I ordered one that's coming on Saturday, and it's it has a third rack, which I'm quite excited
the one
about.
where you can sort of line up the cutlery on top.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Does yours have one of those?
Yeah. Well, I mean, similar. We both live in New York. If anybody who doesn't know that, but I also have had decades where I've not had a dishwasher as I've been writing cookbooks, and now I'm living in the first apartment where I've ever had a dishwasher, and it's such a game changer.
Oh,
there's like I don't think I could go without it. If mine broke, I would have to replace it immediately. It's now a non-negotiable part of my life.
Oh my God. When this broke, not only did I I had a full dishwasher full of dishes that took me days to get through just
To
to
hand
hand
wash them.
wash.
God.
I'd be like, I'll do another set this morning, like and scrub like another 12 dishes, and then like it was awful. It's awful. It's
Yeah.
awful not having a dishwasher because it basically just means your sink is constantly full of
Full
dishes,
of
which
dishes. Well,
like,
especially,
yeah.
I'm sure with like 4 people. And I mean,
Oh,
when it's just Vincent and I was able to stay on top of the hand washing, and it does like teach a valuable skill of cleaning as you go, because
yes.
it becomes unwieldy so quickly.
Yes.
That did like really hardwire in me the cleaning as you go. But
Yes.
the dishwasher is like, when we moved in here, so we have these like some nice plates and things.
Hmm.
And I've read and heard from people that you're like, nice, like cutlery and nice plateware. What's the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for?
Dish
Like
china.
dishes, china.
Dishes.
Is it
Yeah.
china? If it's, I don't know. This is
Oh,
just
yeah.
like
That's a good
ceramics.
question. I don't
I
know.
don't know, but you're not supposed to put it in the dishwasher. But I did
Mm,
anyway because I was like, well,
yes.
this has never been in a dishwasher, and it'd be nice to like have it get properly cleaned that way. And I was like shook by
Really?
the way there was no longer this greasy film. It was like this. It was like. It just felt clean for the first time. I was like, there was no sheen on anything. It was like the front, the back, the edges. There were things that I thought were like permanent stains, and they were gone with like one cycle in the dishwasher.
Wow.
And so I it's probably bad for some of these plates, but I'm just doing it anyway because now
Oh,
they're
yeah.
clean.
I do it anyway. I mean, my favorite dishes are these, I'm super into China.
Oh
Love,
yeah.
love some spode especially. And Tom gave me these adorable spode dishes, these like 4 shallow bowls that are called the Queen's Bird. And it has
Oh,
this
cool.
adorable little sort of aristocratic bird in the middle of it. And they're beautiful. And we use them all the time because they're like the only shallow bowls we have. So I feel like any like, soupy things that we eat, we use these bowls. So it's every time we run the dishwasher, those bowls are in it. And maybe it's my old shitty dishwasher. Maybe it's, I don't know, I'm using too harsh of a detergent, but they have definitely faded in the dishwasher. There's just no getting around it.
Like the design on it or the
Yeah,
overall color?
the design.
Okay. Yeah. I
The
mean, what do they
designs
say
definitely.
is the reason for not putting nice things in the dishwasher? I've always thought it was about like all the activity will cause things to like clink around and chip and potentially break. But does the soap
I think it must be
destroy the
the soap.
finishings
I
and
think
stuff?
it must be the
Okay.
soap. And I have to say, I don't buy like high quality dishwashing soap.
Okay.
Maybe I should. Maybe this is,
That doesn't surprise me for some
yeah,
reason.
definitely. Yeah, I'm using pretty low quality stuff, and it's having an effect, and I still can't change for some reason. I'm just like, well, that's the cost of living, I
This is the
guess.
life
But
I've chosen. Yeah,
yeah, but
exactly.
I was thinking of you as I was hand washing all these things in the last few days because I was like, this probably would save the bowls if I just hand wash these, and I was like, but man, I hate hand washing things. I
Hmm.
mean, I feel like I'm not like I want to know where you are in the spectrum. I'm not like a pot and pan dishwasher person.
No. No, I have strong opinions about that. In fact, when Vincent loads the dishwasher, it always drives me nuts when he
Oh,
throws like a large pot or a large
oh,
bowl in the dishwasher. I'm like, you could have
space.
12 plates
Yeah,
and you're choosing this one bowl.
yeah,
And
totally inefficient.
that
Totally
drives
inefficient.
me up the wall. But
Yeah,
I,
I basically like I redo when anyone else has
yeah,
touched the
there's only
dishwasher,
one way to
basically,
load a dishwasher.
and it's my way.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I was also surprised to learn that even if you're like using the dishwasher multiple times a day, it's more efficient basically on every level than hand washing hand
Yeah.
washing your dishes is hugely wasteful.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I think we should look this up, but like I think it uses something like only like 3 or 4 gallons of water or something. That's like
Yeah.
totally
It reuses the
unsubstantiated.
same water over and
Right.
over again.
Right. And it's just like blazing hot, I guess. So yeah.
Well, okay, the thing with it being more energy efficient is that you have to use the eco setting, but that
Oh,
just makes that's like a really long cycle.
oh, oh.
But it's
I
also
don't,
cleaner, it's better, it's more sanitary.
yeah.
It's like better for washing your dishes, probably even if it's like not fully packed. Do you pack yours
Oh,
to the brim?
I pack it to the brim. I mean, Tom's like, "So we're gonna run this tonight?" And I'm like, "Are you crazy? We could fit like 3 more dishes in there. Like, we're not running this tonight." We're
Oh
like,
my, but what about like needing all those dishes that are in there the next day?
again, it's not right. It doesn't make sense, but it's somehow who I am. I mean, we have a lot of dishes, so I guess like we're not usually running out. Sometimes we'll run out of
Okay.
silverware, but
Okay.
not that often.
Yeah, I feel like we constantly run out of like not the big spoons, but the small spoons,
Oh yeah, the small
for
spoons
like
are yeah.
yogurt or
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Those are gone
Those are gone,
instantly.
like, basically immediately, yeah, and somehow we're missing a bunch of small spoons.
Yeah,
I
same.
blame the children, but I'm like,
I
"We
blame
have 8
Vincent.
spoons." Yeah, I tend to be very, like, sparing in the afternoon snacks. I'm like, "Well, you can have a spoon for your yogurt, but
Oh yeah, totally. Or you're
we're
like,
gonna
you're gonna
reuse it."
use that spoon. You're scooping the yogurt out of the tub into the bowl. You're gonna use that spoon to
Totally,
eat the
totally,
yogurt too.
totally, but then I'm like, "But don't put it back in the yogurt container." Like, tend to be really ridiculous about that. But wait, so go back. So you don't put pots and pans in there just for
No.
space issues or also for other
Yeah, I mean, so I did right when we moved in. I was like, it's similar with the plates. I was like, okay, these have never been properly cleaned, so I'm just gonna
Oh,
like run a cycle
a
and
deep
put all the
clean.
pots and pans in there. But then now I
Was
find
that
this like,
impactful?
yeah, oh my God, it was the same thing where it's like, how does this just like my finger? There's like a little bit of resistance when I like rub my finger across the bottom or the sides or even like the bottom. It's like, this is crazy. I thought that was like patina, or I thought
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
some kind
totally,
of
just
like
its essence.
permanent seasoning, and
Yeah,
it's actually just filth that I've been cooking all my food in all this time. But I don't. So it's like the saucepans and the handle, and then I feel like
yeah,
that gets in the way of loading up plates,
yeah,
or like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
sometimes I'll throw a lid in there because you can slide it in
That's
nicely and
easily
stuff.
easily added. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love a lid in
but
there.
in general, I just don't put big stuff in there.
No, no. I wonder though if I'm gonna have like a new I feel like with this new dishwasher, I may have like a new way where I'm just like, I just run it every day and that's just how I do it and get
I
into some a friend
if
of mine does that and I'm like, I see the benefit of just being like, every night I do it. We run it at night anyway. I'm like, every night I do it, every morning I empty it, and that's just sort of how we go about the day.
Yeah,
But
and then I mean, it sounds like you should, if the reason that you're not running it like that every day and the reason you're packing it full of dirty dishes is from some kind of efficiency standpoint,
right.
I think that you don't have to feel guilty about that. In fact, like, you
Yeah.
should feel better about, I don't know, not having to hand wash all those spoons that you have to
Yeah.
like fish out of the dirty dishwasher or something.
No, it's true. And then maybe I'd have room to throw in like a rice pot once in a while.
Yeah, and that'd
Get
be
a little
nice.
deep clean. Because I
Just use the eco setting.
yeah, I'll just use the eco setting. If I mean, my dishwasher now doesn't even have an eco setting, so I'm
Really?
excited to yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's it could be like 25 years old.
Oh,
It's
wow. Okay.
pretty old.
Okay.
But I do feel I wanted to ask you about wire cutter because I feel
Yeah.
like I'm such a slave to wire cutter. Do you use
Hmm.
wire cutter for things?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. So I was like looking up dishwashers and I was like, obviously, I'm just going to basically just do what Wirecutter tells me. But like the one that it recommended was out of stock. And I was sort of like flummoxed. I went down this rabbit hole of like reading reviews and stuff. And I was like, this is such a time suck.
Hmm.
I can't do it. So I just went,
And in the end, isn't it just a dishwasher? I don't
I
know. Is there like a
mean,
lot of.
I don't know. I don't know. You start reading these reviews and you're like, I guess it's very nuanced. People are like, I don't
I've
know.
had to do never for Wirecutter, but for other publications like product reviews, and
Yeah.
it would be like I'd be assigned things like stock pots or like
Yeah.
a whisk or like a cutting board, and there are, yes, of course, there's like certain features that are like more user friendly if you're a certain type of cook or if your priorities are one way or another. But in the end, you have to like come up with some strong stance about why
Yeah.
some stock pot that's got an extra quarter-inch girth on the handles or something is like better than any other stock pot. And now I kind of read, like, I enjoy Wirecutter, but I find it's just like too much. It kind of like makes shopping seem a lot more complicated than it is.
That's
And
really interesting
it's
to
just too
hear
much
that.
information too. It's like if I didn't have this information, I'd just go someplace here near where I live and buy a dishwasher, and I'd probably
Right.
be perfectly fine with it.
Well, yeah, that's the funny thing is like yeah, I don't actually want all the opinions from Wirecutter. I just want someone to tell me what dishwasher to get because I don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah, in a way, I think I'd probably be more satisfied just going to like the appliance store and just being like, "What do you recommend? I
And
want to
they probably
spend
can give you a really good
$700."
recommendation too. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But I am excited that it has this third rack because I feel like it is going to kind of change everything.
Well, and what's nice about that is then you clear space on the bottom where you don't need the basket for all
Oh
the
yeah,
cutlery.
oh yeah.
So there's like 6 more plates you can squeeze in
I
there.
mean, maybe I take it back. I'm not running it every night. I'm going to run it like every 2 nights. Like it's going to have so much space.
Oh my God. It's so funny getting excited about this. The other thing about dishwashers, I just saw a TikTok where somebody deep cleaned their dishwasher. And I had been noticing on mine, so we've been here for about a year, that like, you know, where it seals, there's like the plastic,
Yes,
the rubber thing
yes,
that makes it like
yes.
airtight, watertight.
Yeah,
And then there's an exposed piece of, like ours is stainless steel, but there's an exposed piece of metal around there. And then there's like metal in like the hinge where the door
yeah,
closes.
yeah.
And that's all looking like kind of grody.
Oh, yeah.
And so this TikTok was doing a deep clean of the dishwasher, and they had one of these, like all these content cleaners. They have this like, it's like a brush with a motorized head that spins.
Oh,
And so
gosh.
they're like spraying, they pull all of the racks out and they like soak them in some giant sink that they have.
It's like not in
And
New York City.
then they pull out the drain filter thing at the bottom,
Yeah.
which I
Oh,
also
that I have done.
you do have to do that regularly. And
Yes,
that's like
yes.
really, really, really grody if you don't stay on
Horrifying,
top of it.
horrifying.
That's gross. That I knew to do. But
Yeah.
then, so took that out, did a deep clean, and then just like sprayed this kind of like foaming cleaner over
Oh,
everything. And then took this brush, and then went all through those corners, all into the hinge, took the like, or the rubber sealy thingy around the
good
dishwasher,
Lord.
soaked and cleaned that. And I was like, this is beautiful. Like I could totally get into deep
Oh,
cleaning my dishwasher.
really?
Yeah, that made me very excited. Only because I had been noticing that there was this like buildup in that, specifically in that
Oh,
space,
yeah.
like around the hinge and around the sides. And I was like, this sounds kind of fun.
Yeah. I've done like a wipe through, but like, but I've never used any sort of motorized scrubber. That I'm like, I don't know where these people like have the capacity for, I don't
I
know.
think it's a compulsion of some sort.
I think it is. I think it is. But yeah, but the cleaning out the thing, the really disgusting thing, that's a necessity.
Yeah.
But that reminds me, have you ever seen the movie Rachel Getting Married?
Yes, not in a long time.
Yeah, there's this great scene in it where the dad is having like a competition with someone about like trying to fit more dishes in the
Ugh.
dishwasher or something like that. And I just thought it was like the most charming part of a movie ever. I was like, if only someone invited me into a competition of like fitting things in the
Loading
dishwasher.
the dishwasher.
I crave that. I'm like,
That
if I could
probably exists. I bet that
sign me
there are
up.
such events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd totally do that. Um,
Oh.
but yeah, but I did want to, so what are you making for dinner tonight? I wanted to know.
So I have been working on some new recipes, one of which I just put out in my newsletter, but it involves sticking slabs of tofu in a waffle iron.
Oh yeah, I
So
saw
it's
that. That
like
looked amazing.
waffled tofu. It's really
Yeah.
good and very, very easy. It's kind of the same thing
Yeah.
as like a panini press if you think
Right.
about it. But
The
it
George
wouldn't have
Foreman
occurred to me
grill.
to put tofu. Yeah, exactly. Or to put tofu into panini press. But I have all this leftover waffled tofu. So it's like
Yeah.
you take the block of tofu and cut it into like 3 or 4 thick wedges.
Yeah.
And then you season it with salt and pepper and whatever. I'd use some like nutritional yeast, but you could do chili powder or I don't know, any kind of like seasoning blend or
Yeah.
just something like that. And then you sprinkle it with a starch, like cornstarch or arrowroot powder
Oh.
or like potato starch, I'm sure would work as well.
Yeah.
And kind of like dredge it in that mixture.
Yeah.
And then grease your waffle iron.
Yeah.
And
Just with like a spray or something.
I brushed a little bit of olive
Yeah.
oil or avocado oil in there. And then throw it in the waffle iron and let it like press down and cook until it's like brown. And because of the starch, it gets kind of like crispy all over. And then
Yum.
the waffle, which a commenter articulated this, and I was trying to understand like why it was so good and why this made such a difference. But basically, the waffle iron extends like the surface area with all the little crevices.
Totally.
So
Totally.
there's like more crispiness and like
Yeah.
more of that seasoning
That's such a good
exposed.
idea.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And so I have a ton of that left over, and I'm going to try to like revive my waffled tofu into a like snap pea tofu situation with some kind of like tahini sauce, which I have yet to figure out.
Like a stir fry kind of thing, or just mix it with a sauce?
I think it's just going to be, I'll definitely like stir fry the snap peas. And whenever I make those, I like drizzle on honey so
Ooh.
that it gets like kind of glazed.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm gonna cut the tofu into little like matchsticks,
Yeah.
and like throw them in there at the end to reheat. And
Sounds so good.
then I think that I'll just kind of stop there. I feel like sometimes if there's too much going on in a stir fry, it's like don't really like know what to pay attention to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I'm gonna put that over rice or maybe noodles. We'll see.
Sounds great.
Yeah. What are you fixing for dinner?
Margaret requested peanut noodles. So,
Oh, yum.
yeah, so we're going to do that.
How often do you like entertain your children's dinner requests?
Pretty often.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if they like what they're eating, then they'll eat it. So I'm like, all right,
Okay.
I'll do that. But yeah, and Tom's out of town. So I was like, it's a good sort of solo meal for the three of us. But it's just like, peanut butter, soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, sesame oil,
all to taste because
all
you've
to
made it so many
taste.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, all to taste. Though I feel like maybe I need to look into some recipes and see if anybody has any. Do you have any like interesting additions to that?
Yes. I had been working on a peanut sauce that's like half peanut butter and half miso.
Oh.
So it's all kind of the same stuff, but you just like cut the difference of the peanut butter with miso paste. And I've also done it with like cashew butter and almond butter.
Yeah, I've
And
done
it's
it with
really good.
tahini, like done a
Oh,
half
yeah.
and half tahini peanut butter thing.
That's
That
good.
works well too because it has that nice texture.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Oh, and sometimes I put in like a little maple syrup or something to sort of round it out a little. But I think we'll just have that with like some tofu and broccoli and noodles or something. But
it's like a very virtuous weeknight dinner.
Yeah,
Both our houses.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, a tofu experience.
Yeah. Do you have a special place for your tofu, or do you just buy like the kinds in the little tubs soaked in water?
I just buy the kinds in the little tubs. Okay. Yeah, but it's I try to buy organic just because it
the soybeans.
Yeah, the soybean thing. But otherwise, I'm pretty flexible. It's just like I just get like firm. Though I do want to explore some other tofu firmnesses. But yeah. Anyway,
right, well, enjoy your
tofu
so dinner, and I will too.
Yeah, you too. And we'll just talk soon.
One last thing. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our episodes, could you do us a huge favor and leave us a rating and or a review on whatever podcast listening platform you are listening on right now? That sort of thing really helps give us a little bit more visibility and helps us find new listeners. And we really want to keep this thing going for as long as possible. Thank you. Till next time. Bye.